Welcome into the Cleveland Browns report. Browns knock off the Vikings, and they are 3-1. Was it pretty? No. Would you bring this game home to meet your parents? Absolutely not. But are you proud of it? A little, because you're 3-1 in the NFL, and that's a great feeling, and you don't have the Monday blues coming at you tomorrow. So what I want to know from you guys, though, grade the Browns' performance versus Minnesota, A, B, C, D, or F. Here's where I'm going to put them at. I'm going to grade it at a B. I understand it's just a one-touchdown performance from the offense. Wasn't pretty. Baker Mayfield in the offense didn't move the ball up and down the field much at all. But listen, if you can score one touchdown on offense in the NFL on the road and win, you got to be happy about that because that means you did other things right. And look at that, 14-7 final. And what I'm looking at is that Kirk Cousins-led offense with a lot of low numbers. 203 yards for Captain Kirk. Dalvin Cook was limited to just 34 yards. He was kind of obsolete. Went down, re-aggravated what looks to be a nagging ankle injury for him. But the Browns offense doesn't have a lot much more to talk about. All right, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. I like to say that's what the Browns offense has to be after this performance. But regardless, Cleveland is 3-1. I'm happy about it, okay? Because you put up one touchdown on the road and you found a way to win. That's very impressive. That does not happen very often. Don't count on that week in and week out. But when it happens, yeah, pat yourself on the back a little bit, defense. You got the job done. Offensively, Kareem Hunt, he put up the only score of the game. Sometimes, like, hand up, I forget that Kareem Hunt is not just a wide receiver back and someone to toss to in the flat and a thunder lightning combination with Nick Chubb. He is just as good as Chubb in a lot of ways. Chubb is going to give you more of that ground game attack and shedding off defenders, but still, Hunt was great at the goal line, powered his way through for the score. So Hunt, once again, after a great game last week against the Bears, displaying his great skills so far. Now, Baker. Dude, I love you, but you got to chill a little. You're not Lamar Jackson. Stop trying to extend plays with your feet to the point that you're passing up on open guys. Talking about Demetric Felton on that key third and short right there. You had him open beyond the first down marker. Take the simple play. Take what the defense gives you. This was not a good game for Baker. All right, I don't care how you want to dice it up. Sure, he found a way to win, but 155 yards. South of 50% completion percentage, no scores. It was just not Mayfield's day, and that's okay. That is an okay thing to happen. That's not a bad thing necessarily, as long as it just happens once a week. Everyone's got bad days. You know, everyone has those days. We're not going to dive into that. But it's all right. Move on from it. Get better in practice. And also, please hit OBJ next time when he's wide open like that to seal the game and not have everyone at the edge of their seat for the last play of the game, but that's just my 2 cents. Speaking of the Vikings offense, though, this was not the offense we had seen through the first 3 weeks of the season. Check out the numbers, all right? Total yards per game, the first 3 weeks, 425. Today, 255. It's just an absolute landslide in the wrong direction for Minnesota this week. At home, had a good home field advantage, but ultimately, this offense was stagnant. It was stale. It was boring, too. I mean, this game looked like it was played in 1921, not 2021 on the Vikings side of things. But this defense, they get a lot of credit, all right? At the end of the day, they held the Vikings to just 7 points. So defensive coordinator Joe Woods, hand up. I'm sorry, okay? I was ragging on you earlier. I thought this defense would come into shape a little more. When you spend that much money on that side of the ball, you expect it to. But I know that a lot of people were calling, maybe not for your job necessarily, but asking for people to look at your job. So type me in the comments, do a hand up time. Own it if you thought Joe Woods was a bum, because the last 2 weeks, it's been anything but that. From the 9-sack performance a week ago to just 7 points this week against the Vikings, the Browns' defense is becoming quietly one of the best in the NFL, and the whole league is going to get caught up to speed in the coming weeks, I think. Browns fans were brought to you guys by BetUS, all right? So, let me think about this one again. The Browns were 2-point favorites. Oh, cover machine right there again. They've been covering all over. The under hit today. They've been a little sporadic on the over-under, but regardless, make some money on Cleveland. Go over to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code Browns125. You plug it in right there. They hook you up with a 125% deposit bonus. It's an absolute slam dunk deal, all right? Check them out, BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. Have to use that link along with the promo code Browns125 for that 125% deposit bonus. Let them hook you up. This defense was great today. Plain and simple, okay? This is the defense that got paid. This was the investment in Troy Hill, John Johnson, looking into the first-round pick of, bringing back Greedy Williams, but regardless, Denzel Ward looking for that contract extension. I'm just name-dropping here like the guy at the club that thinks he knows people that really doesn't. It was a great day for the Browns defense altogether. And shout out to Denzel Ward, all right? He had not gotten off to the best start. That's just a fact, all right? He covered it up at times with some nice plays, but I liked his play today. He had a tough assignment against Justin Jefferson, who he guarded for most of the day. And Jefferson, don't get me wrong, a touchdown, over 80 yards, 6 receptions, was pretty strong on offense. But at the end of the game, when it mattered most, this Browns defense shut down the Vikings twice in key situations, forcing that the fourth down conversion, stopping Minnesota's offense, and then at the end of the game, from the 25-yard line, shutting it down. I liked it, so shout out to Denzel Ward. And Greedy Williams, too, gets his first start of the season with Greg Newsome out with a calf injury, and he holds his weight, and that's all you can ask for someone filling in. I would say he did even more than holding his weight, all right? Adam Thielen was pretty obsolete in this game. Had some bigger moments down the stretch in the end, but altogether, this Brown secondary, they did their job. And that was one of my keys to the game, was it wouldn't be so much about the pass rush as much as it would be about the secondary. And the secondary, they bend, but they did not break, and that's what you're looking for. Now, here's what I'm asking for you guys, though. Subscribe right now to the Browns Report because they're 3-1. You don't need any more reason than that. Plain and simple. The Steelers account has some more subscribers. That's BS, all right? So let's catch up to them right now. Subscribe, move your mouse over, make that red button gray, and get in on all the latest Browns news and rumors all season long. Injury-wise, every win seems to come at a price, and I don't have a good answer of what to do with Jedrick Wills Jr., okay? It isn't working, though. That's for sure, okay? Once again, it's the ankle injury catching up to him. Carted off the field today. He keeps giving it a go, and it keeps backfiring. He has not played 100% of snaps once so far this season. It's going back to last year against the Chiefs, for example, that final game of the season, on the first offensive snap of the game. Something has to be made here. I'm talking probably at least a 3-week stint on the IR. Shut it down for a while, okay? I mean, literally just move on from it for at least a time period. Circle back later. Ronnie Harrison, he also left the game today with a concussion. This is never good news. You don't want to lose anyone to an injury. Hopefully he's okay. The only kind of silver lining, and again, this is a tough silver lining, is just Grant Delpit was sitting behind him. Loved what I've seen so far out of him. So if you're going to have an injury have to happen at a certain position, not too upset that it happens at the safety group because you have a lot of depth right there, so it's not going to derail the defense for the coming weeks until Harrison can come back. Hopefully he's A-okay, and we can see him back on the gridiron sooner than later. Now, going back to Jedrick Wills, because this is the biggest injury of the game. Shut it down. Like John Taffer coming into the kitchen, shutting the bar down, that kind of shut it down. And don't go near a football for at least 3 weeks. Let that ankle get beyond better. And if it takes more than 3 weeks, it takes more than 3 weeks. The bummer for the Browns is their bye week isn't until week 13, I believe. So it's not one of those situations where you can put them on IR and you got the bye week at week 8 or 9. So that gives you a natural point of after that, because you get an extra week of rest. It's going to be a while until that bye week. So just shut it down because Hudson, the rookie, he filled in fine. There's plenty of depth here at the offensive line. This is your first overall pick from a season, or your first round pick from a season ago. You need him healthy, not for this year, but for his career. I mean, this is an investment in the left tackle spot. Don't mess with his ankle. Do yourself a favor for the future, this season and beyond, and shut it down for Jedrick Wills Jr. for a handful of weeks, put him on IR. I just don't see how he can force himself to practice more, get into the game, and then just not play a full game. And that's not on him. It's on the coach. That's just an injury, and that sucks. Don't push it anymore, though. That's where you're flirting with a dangerous line of pushing himself beyond a point of return where he's going to miss the whole season. Now, what I want to know from you guys, though, what's your panic level over this just nonstop Wills ankle injuries? Scale it for me 1 to 10. I shouldn't even have 1 as an option. It should probably start at 3 to 10. I'm at a 7, okay? And that's a little high because it's been week after week, and it's not getting any better. And it's getting to the point now where you wonder if the Browns go, Matthew, screw 3 weeks. We're going to shut it down for the season. And that's tough because this is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Second-year guy, 9th overall, pick a season ago. You need him out there. So what are you guys thinking? Let me know in the comment section of this video. I'm at a 7, though. That's where I'm at. All right, other shout-outs here to wrap up the video for you guys here. Looking at my notes here, how about a shout-out to the kicker, Chase McLaughlin, all right? So, big kick, 48-yarder to make it would look like a normal score. It was 11-7 for most of the game. Ends up getting to 14-7, but not the usual way you get there. But here's the deal with that 48-yarder. Yes, it gives you security. It gives you some breathing room, knowing you have a touchdown lead. But even more than that, if you miss that, this Vikings offense has the best field position they've had probably all game, and it's a Vikings offense that's had nothing going for them. So you're throwing them a bone. So it's a bigger gamble. I don't think you should punt there. I think you have the faith in your kicker, and McLaughlin delivers. He's still perfect on the season, too. So what a great pickup from the Jets practice squad over the offseason. So shout out to Chase McLaughlin. Next one, Malik Jackson, all right. Jackson, that front four. They came and they delivered down the stretch when the Browns defense needed it the most. They got pressure. If you watch that the Vikings last 2 drives, Cleveland did not usually send more than 4 players, all right? They trusted their front 4 to get pressure, and they delivered. So Malik Jackson, Malik McDowell, the entire front 4, of course, Myles, McGarrett, and Tack McKinley getting his first sack of the season. Jadeveon Clowney pouring on some pressure as well. That front 4 got it done without any help. No blitzes needed. In the beginning of the game, though, it was fun seeing Joe Woods get a little creative. But down the stretch, when you needed to put guys back into prevent defense and rely on the front 4 got it done for you. So shout out to Malik Jackson and the entire front 4. Other shout outs, John Johnson. All right. This was a player that got a huge paycheck over the offseason from the Rams. Pretty quiet through the first couple-ish weeks. Makes a huge interception huge play down the stretch. All right, nearly an interception at the end of the game against Kirk Cousins. This entire Brown secondary was one of my keys to the game, my preview video going into the game, and they came in clutch, all right? They let the Vikings move themselves down down the field a little bit, probably a little nerve-wracking at times, but at the end of the day, they closed the Iron Curtain on the end zone, did not let the Vikings score, put into overtime, none of that mayhem or madness. They pick up another road victory, and that's big right there for Cleveland. Actually, first road victory. What am I talking about? 2 home victories, 3-1 on the season, so shout out to them. But McLaughlin, I mean, kickers usually don't get enough love. I think they deserve more, and especially when you have ice in your veins, the 48-yarder, you knock that one through, and that right there, it doesn't seal the game, but it sure helps give yourself a lot of breathing room. So this Browns team right now, they are rocking and rolling, okay? No wonder the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. They're picking up from that, and they are continuing to cruise. Offense, plenty to work on, no doubt about it after this week, but that's the NFL for you. You can't have great performances week in and week out. So when you could pick up a win with a bad performance, that's a very good sign that you have a good team, okay? When things are going right for you and you still find a way to win, even on the road, you've got to be happy with that. So the Browns, 3-1. Hopefully when we're talking next week this time, Cleveland is 4-1, and they are at the top of the AFC West, NFC North, AFC North. As I watch Red Zone off to the screen right now and get myself jumbled, it's NFL Sunday, where I got eyes on all the screens. But Browns, 3-1.